of adults through the state of Ohio. We do have a mentoring program for those who may be still enrolled in high school. But the attainment rate currently in the state of Ohio is about 42%. And by 2025, we wanted to be at 60, I believe 60%. So we are a little behind that. And the idea is to increase anybody holding a technical degree, a certificate, an associate's, bachelor's, etc. So today is going to be the first half of the presentation, and next. Today, we can help you with college and career guidance, application assistance, student loan services, financial aid, and scholarships. And as always, all of our services are free and made available either in person through appointment, over the phone, or we use the Microsoft Teams app as well to make appointments. Now, usually for a scholarship strategy session, when working with adults, we want to make sure, one, we have our FAFSA filled out. Two, we're going to discuss the types of financial aid that are available. We'll discuss scholarships. Our scholarships. College Now does have 2 different scholarships that we offer to adults for applications, and we'll discuss that a little later. Personal statements, the review, and then we'll cover some questions. So for this presentation, we will work on some scholarship strategies, and that includes where to search for scholarships, also how to search for scholarships, what types of scholarships to look for or where to look for them. So we're going to cover that whole base while we work through this. We want to understand the scholarship process and timeline, how to access them and the different types again, and then how to write your winning personal statement, because a lot of times you'll see more scholarship, essay scholarships. So we want to make sure when we're filling out this information, when we write our personal statement, when we receive these scholarships, we want to still make it look like we're professional in doing all of this. So when managing scholarships and financial aid, we want to make sure that we have already saved up for at least some type of monies that we can apply to school, because if we can't, sometimes we'll have to start filling out a lot more scholarships. And sometimes, you know, the big ones aren't always available, but if we can fill out as many little ones, that money will add up. So again, $200, we see it all the time when students have a past due balance because, hey, they didn't apply for a scholarship at the school. Now I have a $200 past due balance. It's been 10 months and it's already has a fee lopped onto it. Now there's interest accruing. Now we're looking at almost $1,000, and all because we just didn't take the time to just look for something that's right there. We do have the availability for scholarships in our scholarship database as well, so we can discuss that moving forward. So the FAFSA, for anybody filing for scholarships, sometimes it'll ask you if you are able to receive certain benefits from the FAFSA, like the Pell Grant. Some scholarships need you to be Pell eligible, and all that means is maybe you're out of financial aid. Maybe your 600% has been used. As long as you're in a bracket of individuals who can receive the Pell Grant, you still qualify for some scholarships. So it's not how much you can receive, it's the situation you stand in if you're able to receive that money, even if you're not receiving it, if that makes sense. So moving through the FAFSA form. So what is FAFSA? It is the free application for federal student aid. And we complete it because it generates every type of financial aid. So that is the money from the federal government, the money from the state, and as well as the university or college that you're attending. So that's why you file for the FAFSA. And a myth I would just like to bust real quick is, oh, we make too much money, you can't receive anything from the FAFSA. That's actually false, because if you file early enough, there still could be money you're able to receive by filing for the FAFSA to the school that you're looking to attend. It may not be a lot, but that's still money that just goes towards your education that you do not have to pay for. Now we complete it every year after October 1st, because that's when the new FAFSA opens. So this is the current 21-22 school year that we're about to enroll in. The next school year will be the 22-23 school year. The FAFSA for that school year will be open after October 1st. And we strive to complete it by November 15th, because again, there's a lot of money just sitting in the schools that is just being thrown at students. If you apply early enough, or if you can kind of figure out where you want to go, it's not always November 15th, but maybe until, depending on where you apply. Some schools' deadlines are March, April. So we want to make sure that we're getting in our applications early, one, for consideration, and then two, that we're receiving some of this money that's available. And how do you complete it? We want to go to originally www.fafsa.ed.gov. You can go to studentaid.gov, www.studentaid.gov, and it'll direct you straight to this FAFSA form. Before you even fill out a FAFSA, it'll have you fill out your FSA ID and password, which is used for the FAFSA, and then ultimately later on, once you're either going to fill out a Parent Plus loan, you're going to repay your student loans, check on who your servicers are. Maybe you're going to apply for public service loan forgiveness later on as well. This is the main site. This is the site to manage your loans. So that's where we're going to be headed with that. What happens after you file? Immediately, you'll get your student aid report, which is everything you just filled out in the FAFSA, as well as your EFC, your estimated family contribution, which is what you'll be expected to contribute towards your education. The Pell Grant, as we said, about $6,495 is the max you can receive in Pell Grant, and that again depends on your financial situation. So when you fill out the FAFSA, you will put in your finances, or you'll have to mail off your 2-year prior tax return. And that's how they adjust how much you'll be paying for school, how much they award you as well through things like the Pell Grant. You may also be selected for verification. That does not mean you did anything wrong. It just means that you've been selected for verification. It may happen to you all 4 years or all 6 years you apply for school, but sometimes you may be just asked to verify that information. You get your 2-year prior tax filing and you mail that W-2 or that 1040 form off to the school, to the financial aid department. I'm sure the bursar's office will contact you. Okay, special circumstances. If you are, I'm sorry. If you are someone who has suffered a loss of income, divorce, separation, medical expenses, you qualify for special circumstances. So the idea sometimes is you have to be 24 to file for the FAFSA as an independent. If you qualify for certain circumstances, you may be able to qualify at the age of 18 for the FAFSA by yourself. So it'll give you a long list of if you have beens while you file for the FAFSA, and that's how you'll determine if you qualify for independent status. And also the National Student Loan Database System found on studentaid.gov. So you can see how much you have in remaining grants, student loans, loan contact information, that would be your loan servicer, and then the different loan types. Previously, it would be like FFELP loans, so family and friends educational loans, but now everything that you take out of the student aid or from the federal government should be a direct loan moving forward. So we really don't have to throw any of those curveballs in for like consolidation unless we're taking a Parent Plus loan, but that's a conversation we can save for later. All right, so different things are generated when you file for FAFSA. Those are grants, scholarships, the work study programs, and your student loans. So the free money is your grants. Your Pell Grant is free money from the federal government. Your borrowed money, which is your loans, which starting as a freshman, you get to borrow $5,500 in subsidized and unsubsidized loans. Those are your loans. And then your earned money. So if you ever see that question about work study on the FAFSA, you can always just put yes. It's not going to put you in any situation, but it will show you in your financial aid awards letter, if you were to work as a student, how much money and time would have to be generated to earn this much money that you're allotted to earn while in a federal work-study program. That's all that is. So if not, don't worry about it. If you're just worried about it, you can also put don't know, and then you can discuss it with the school moving forward. And gift money, scholarships and grants. The Pell Grant, we already discussed that. You can see how much you're able to receive in your student aid report, which sometimes takes about 2 weeks to get back, but it's a pretty good estimate of what's expected on your behalf or what you can receive. And then your borrowed money, which again is our student loans, which are subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. Depending on what's going to happen moving forward with the federal forbearance and whatever Congress does moving forward with student aid and student loans, subsidized loans are currently, I believe, at about 5.2% interest, as well as unsubsidized loans. So subsidized loans only generate interest while you're out of school. And then unsubsidized loans will generate interest while you're in school. So the second you apply for school, you hit yes to whatever university you're going to, they'll start taking interest out on those unsubsidized loans. But currently, now this is only because of the COVID protocol, all of this is in administrative forbearance. So no loans are generating interest and no additional money is being added towards the principal balance. So something you're going to hear a lot about, subsidized and unsubsidized, especially with taking out different loans. We'll discuss that as well moving later on. Then there's also your borrowed money, which is Parent Plus loans. Parent Plus loans, you know, I'm going to save that one actually for the next time, because that will also go well with the Perkins loans and private loans. And we'll also be able to discuss some loan consolidation and how all of this kind of falls together or not. So I'm going to actually move forward from this. If you do have questions on it, please feel free to contact us. You do not have to wait for the next presentation or at the end of the presentation. If you do have questions, please feel free to ask, and Tanya and I would be more than happy to answer that for you. So again, there's different rates among those, but we're going to move forward with that. There's also the federal loan rescue. So there are ways to pay back your loans once we've already taken those loans out, or after you've already graduated or dropped below half-time and are just done with college and you do want to make an attempt to pay those back. We will discuss that moving forward though. Again, your federal work-study program is just a part-time job at school. Sometimes if you can get in like the library, you can kind of get your work done somewhere quiet, or, you know, sometimes you see students working in the cafeteria. That's all they're doing is just completing their hours for their work study. And that money goes to them. So they can pay for tuition. They can use that for food. It's not a scholarship, but, you know, that is money that does actually go to you, because the scholarships do not go to you. So something I'd actually like to just kind of drop on you right now, if you're filing for scholarships, that does not, unless specified, is not actually going to be money that is given to you. So that money is for educational purposes only. So books are not included in that. Your meal plan is not included in that. So just something to kind of keep in the back of your head with scholarships. Transportation money is not included in that, unfortunately, unless specified. So any scholarships you're looking for, make sure you read the fine lining in between, because we want to make sure that you don't get confused and don't save up or apply money towards where we're actually supposed to be using it. So what is a scholarship? The scholarship is free money for school. You do not have to pay them back. Awesome. And you should apply. You should never have to pay to apply. It's probably a scam. If you are paying for scholarships or for someone to fill out your FAFSA or to talk to you about your student loans, get you on a program, and you have to pay, it's a scam. All this is free information from the federal government. So anything that any entity that calls you and says, hey, well, for this price, we can get you on public service loan forgiveness. I know I'm jumping ahead, but anything that I'm sending that you have to apply for and to pay to apply for is a scam. And again, yes, scholarships, if specified, can be used for some personal expenses, and that's if it's specified. So if it says a book scholarship from David University, then yes, you can use that money for books. But again, we want to make sure we specify what it's for. Tons of scholarships. I'll save this for the end about any scholarship questions, unless you've thrown them in the chat, but I'm going to keep moving though. Now, your scholarship search. We want to think local. So let's think small and then expand. Let's not apply to the big scholarship that everybody applies for, because that's like throwing a needle in a dark room and then walking outside to find it. It's impossible. So we want to make sure when we're applying for stuff like this, we want to think local. So there's got to be little businesses around you, home businesses, your local bank. Sometimes even like local McDonald's, Taco Bell has scholarships for students or undergrads or adults. We want to make sure that we're thinking local. And then we want to start thinking about other organizations like your high school. There are sometimes high school scholarships. We want to make sure we're looking specific. So do you play a sport? First one. Do you play an instrument? I did. Do you have anything particular about you? Are you in an art program? Are you in any school programs that, yes, there's scholarships for literally everything. So think about yourself. What makes you different? What are your interests? There are scholarships even for clubs at your college or university you're looking to go to. So think easy. You know, it doesn't always have to be the big ones, like I said, because yeah, I'm trying to get a $5,000 scholarship. I'm going to write the best letter and it's going to blow them out the water. Well, what if you don't get it? What if you could have spent that time filling out, 250 word scholarships and you filled out 6 to 10 of those and you got 8 of them at $200 a piece? Now you got $1,600. It's not always about hitting the big one. Yeah, those are cool. Those are really cool. But I guarantee your college has a lot of scholarships. I can tell you right now, Cleveland State has so many available scholarships still that they're awarding to students for applying there just because they hit specific qualities about the school or about themselves. So it's definitely something to consider when moving forward with scholarships. So your scholarship search, we want to make sure, with search engines, you're gonna get a lot of just like, hey, this is how students search for scholarships, and you don't really know where you're going or what those pages are even sending that information to. So again, check small and then work your way out. You're bound to come across more available scholarship databases that give you more opportune scholarships as well. And again, colleges and universities give their own inside scholarships. So just give them a call. You can call student services and they'll say, yeah, we have a scholarship department. Here's how you get there. Also, some scholarships can be need-based. So if you are maybe you have a disability, maybe you are, there are like ETV scholarships for for misplaced students, well, not misplaced, like foster students. So if they're living with a foster family, they can actually receive a scholarship. It's actually an ETV scholarship. I believe it's like $500 a month that they can receive while they're in college as well. But again, scholarships can be need-based or merit-based. So there are, yes, scholarships where students get full rides to college. Those students are far and few between because one, I guarantee they've been searching at that school for a very long time. And by that, I mean probably the beginning of junior year. They already reached out, applied, and checked into their services, and they probably have some outstanding resume that might go well with the school. So that's really why students get those merit scholars, how students get those full rides. Yeah, you don't always hear about a lot of them because they're not really given out as, hey, I've got like a 4.6 GPA and I'm in Key Club and I'm on the chess team and a few other things like that. They're really looking for students who have already shown interest in the school and have kind of pushed their way in and are looking for like early enrollment. So that way, their FAFSA, their entire form is completed. Those are really where those merit scholars come from. So it's not always just like, hey, this kid is an extraordinary student. It's sometimes just the effort that you put into pursuing college. So where to find scholarships? Call us. we've got a scholarship database. It's frequently updated by our AmeriCorps members, and they do a really good job at it. And so you can find scholarships for any types of qualities about yourself, your intended major, as well as just open and available scholarships that aren't on those massive websites. They're just through donors who are looking to provide scholarships for students. So inquire about us. Think small. So here we are. We're in your community. Ohio Means Jobs. That's in your community. They provide scholarships. They don't just help you build a resume or develop professional skills. They will assist adults, because that's what they are. They're an adult coordinating program. Local foundations. The Cleveland Foundation actually provides scholarships. Inquire with them. College board, your college, university, your job, or your department. Maybe your job offers tuition reimbursement. There's also Navient. Yes, they are a lender. They are one of the bigger lenders, I'll admit, but they do provide scholarships. And again, that's just to inquire early. Check in about it to see what's available. And then also College Greenlight. These are just small available websites and places where you can find available scholarships. We'll also have this presentation available in case you want to click back through it and see any of these slides as well. And also reminders about applying scholarships. Please check your deadlines. We see this all the time with our scholarship, which I'll be getting into in a minute. A lot of people just always forget the deadline. It's like paying a bill that's not already like on your phone or automatic withdrawal. Yes, it's going to slip your mind. You've got 10,000 other things going on in your life. And we just want to, again, check the requirements. Maybe you're supposed to be living in one of the following counties like Cuyahoga, but this one's only available for Huron kids. I don't know. That's just a wild example. But we want to make sure that your requirements are all followed up on. Please proofread. I can't stand this when people write me things and they did not proofread it, and then I just have to put it in a Word file or whatever file you use to write. Put it there first. Use spell check, use Grammarly, whatever you need to use. Those are great sources. But if it's riddled with spelling errors and just run-on sentences, they're not going to give you the scholarship. So please proofread. And then also, yes, make sure you include the necessary documents. They may ask for your SAR report. They may ask for your financial aid rewards report from the school. So you want to make sure you have all the information, because they might not call you back saying, oh, you forgot this. Now we will, but sometimes people don't always do that. So you want to make sure you have all your information ready to go. Again, beware of scams. Yes, people will say, we need this information. Then the next thing you know, they have your social security number. Don't ever deliver that to anybody unless it is a federal document from the federal page. And yes, we can help you navigate that as well. Scholarship ads can be scams as well. So, hey, looking for scholarships? Again, make sure you do your online protection when looking through emails. Don't click on anything that looks foreign. Hover your mouse over the name or the email provided and see if it's this long tab or something like that. So again, it's not overkill, but we just want to make sure you're navigating this well. All right. So developing tomorrow's town. Here is our scholarship, our adult learner scholarship. This actually closed in April 15th, I believe, but it will be available for the spring semester, so the January semester, and it'll be available mid-April, about August 15th or early September, I believe. It'll be reopened for that spring semester. So, and I believe it'll probably close early November. So that'll be the timeline. So early August to late mid-November to get this one in. And this is for any student who has a gap year in their education. So a gap year or just a gap in their education is maybe you took some time off, maybe you missed a semester, maybe you pursued some other things. A gap in your education, or maybe you're starting late. Maybe you didn't start at the traditional 18, 19 out of high school, you qualify. So we like to pursue this scholarship. It's very, very easy to get. And again, it's 300-word essay that's actually broken into 2 different essays. It's actually 250-word essays. and you just need your SARS report and your financial aid awards letter, and you attach it in there, and then you send it off. And it'll be available for the spring. So again, please inquire about that. It's a very nice scholarship to go for. You do have to be at a not-for-profit school. There are some other requirements. You must be in one of the following areas: Ashtabula, Cuyahoga, Geauga County, Lake, Lorraine, Mahoning, Medina, Portage, Summit, Trumbull. Older than 19, college, high school diploma or GED. I'm going to keep moving though. We're moving. But there are different scholarships. So the manufacturing scholarship is the other main one. Now, when you apply for the adult learner, you will receive probably one of the Jane Edna Hunter, the Radner Miller Shafran scholarships. Those are the adult learner scholarships, but you could be awarded the manufacturing scholarship, and that's for any student pursuing a manufacturing program or what qualifies as a manufacturing program. Like maybe you're attending Tri-C for HVAC, welding, anything that qualifies, and that pays max $4,000 for a one-time scholarship. That might be the cost of the program, because a lot of manufacturing programs are only around 12 to 18 months. So the affordability of them is nice if you can apply for this scholarship. If you or your friends know anybody, please have them reach out about this scholarship so we can continue to have it open for anybody that wants to apply. Our scholarship database, I'll reiterate that again, is available, and you can actually get this off of our website. You can go to collegenowgc.org, and you can go to scholarships, scroll all the way down, and you'll see outside scholarships search, and click on the link, and you can just click on, I'm an undergraduate student, I'm a professional student, I'm a doctoral student, whichever one, and you'll be directed to the link, and you'll be able to see which scholarships are open, when they're closed, specific search. You'll be able to just see in the open tab and make sure you're following the date, because the dates will show when the deadline is. There's scholarships that still close in November that are on there. There's scholarships that close June 30th. So there are available scholarships to apply for. They are in this area. Some of them are vast, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be awarded that scholarship. They're pretty easy to apply for, but they are there and they are available. And what is a personal statement? Personal statement is a requirement for some scholarships, so it just explains why you should receive that scholarship. And the difference is just the different types of scholarships. Again, some scholarships will have you fill out information in essay format. Some will just have you make lists. Some will have you just apply. So there's different variated versions of it. What to keep in mind. So what's the prompt? Just answer the question. How many questions are there? Make sure you throw it into a Word file or a documented file that can be edited. And, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, please give us a call. I help edit scholarships all the time. I'll sit there with you and write your adult learner scholarship. Some more tips for writing an essay. Most of the time, it'll specify what your essay should be. If you have a bunch of goofy things in here that aren't professional or don't look like you're the active student that they're trying to pursue, we want to make sure that all this comes together and looks very professional and the type of student that the committee wants to give a scholarship away to, because sometimes there are different versions, and whoever that donor is could be a very particular person on who they want to receive the scholarship. So we want to make sure each time we do this, we are paying attention and we're not just kind of running through these, because the quicker you run through them, the quicker you are to make mistakes. So we don't want to do that. Common writing prompts that you probably see. When was the last time you experienced a challenge? What are you personally going through? Why should you get this award? You'll see this a lot. And try not to use the same rhetoric over and over, because that's when you start to make mistakes. You'll end up putting something in a sentence that's not even applicable to that scholarship. And then that's why we don't just keep editing and pasting the same scholarship. So we want to make sure that it's applied towards that school. Spend some time on it.